Connor!
Yeah, well,
Connor! We
yeah,
have to
wow.
re-record this intro because the internet's
did.
bad. But I have a question again.
Do you?
I do. I have a great question.
Please, fire on me.
And I had to rewrite the question because I already knew the answer. But the question is, we got our first Stephen Moffat story here today. So, what are your top 3 Moffat stories? The original question was, what's your top? But then I realized your favorite episode of the show is the episodes that we're talking about today. So I kind of already knew the answer.
Oh, wow, that's a good question. Definitely Empty Child, Dr. Dances, Heaven Sent, and probably Blink.
Okay, cool.
I reckon those are pretty... Yeah, I reckon those would probably be it, yeah. That was pretty easy.
That was very quick. That's the quickest answer.
Thank you.
We've got. We're like a minute into the show and you've already answered. You usually drag this on for like...
Yeah, well, those are bangers. Yeah. So, what about you?
What about me, huh?
Well, what are your top 3? This guy.
All right. My top 3. Probably, obviously, Heaven Sent. You can't
not
fault that one at all.
No.
And then I think Day of the Doc.
Yeah.
That's so much fun. It's not like one that I rewatch all the time, but I just think, it just did exactly what it needed to do.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
And then I was gonna say probably Go in the Fireplace. It's hard to pick because I really do like his wanners, like as in when he was working for Russell and he'd just do one story a season. Like they're all pretty much really great. But I think as a kid, I gravitated more to the Girl in the Fireplace, and I think obviously I loved Blink as a kid, and that gave me the friggin' creeps. But I don't know, the Clockwork Robots under the bed. That's a spooky one.
Yeah, nah, you're right. That's Girl in the Fireplace is definitely probably my 4th favorite episode. Like I reckon that's a banger. That episode makes me want to cry, and it's Murray Gold's best work in my opinion as well.
It's so good.
It really is great. That's one I'm like really excited to rewatch. I try and rewatch that like every year. I feel like I do. I love that episode. He's so good.
I'm looking forward to season 2 actually. We're very close now. We're closer to David than we are the start of Eccleston, which is...
I was thinking today, like, series 2 is good, and I wonder if I'll enjoy it more than series 1 because I've really enjoyed series 1. But no, series 2. I feel like 1 and 2 is its prime. 3 it starts to go down a little bit, and it kind of continues from there on out. But 1 and 2 I think is banging material. But yeah, we've only got 2 more episodes of the podcast of this season. So and Dan's going to be on the next episode. So we got a guest. So
he is.
That's for Boomtown. So yeah, it will just be you and me for the final, obviously. But yeah, it's we come a long way, baby.
This podcast and watching Who has made for some great escapism, I must say. The show always has, and that, to me, is what the show's about. Like, the reason the Doctor can't stop traveling is because, he's got so much shit in his head he just goes on an adventure and he can't settle down. And I kind of wish that would be addressed in a way, like, that perhaps the Doctor's mental health isn't actually that great.
I feel like they do that with Matt, but not really anyone else. Because they always call him a madman with a box.
Not in the way that I'd sort of like to see it addressed, but that's another story. But
I agree, though. I think it has been very beneficial for the both of us. I think it's been great for my mental health and stuff, and it's good to be running. I used to think, I can't run 2 podcasts; it's gonna just get all boggled, and But I'm very proud of both of them, to be honest. And
it doesn't feel like a chore. This one, even editing it, like sometimes
I legit agree.
Fuck, I've got to sit there and edit it. But then, like, the moment I sit down and I start editing, I'm like, it's fun. And I have a good routine now. I listen to it on, like, 5 times speed playback or something.
Right.
I don't make as many edits as I used to. I very rarely cut things out now. Mainly because I think we stay on topic a lot more than we did. Not, like, obviously we go off topic a lot, but sometimes it'd be, like, boring technical topic stuff that we talked about in the first couple of episodes, like recording setup or something like that. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
And the audio, we're all recording at the right levels and stuff now, so it's pretty good. But what I mean for the escapism thing is, like, I don't know. So obviously 2020 for the world has been pretty freaking shit, right? And the whole way through, I've sort of been like, yeah, but we're looking to be where we are, and granted, we absolutely are in Perth. There is such a good... You wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now. But there's still, like, just an element, the last couple of weeks, with everything getting bad in Victoria again and stuff, I'm just like, when will this end?
That is crazy. Victoria's going mad.
I miss normal life. And then today, it was like a bummer to wake up, and the first thing I saw on Twitter was like these almost concentration camp kind of things that China is enforcing, and fuck, it's just like, it's fucked. Like,
it really is sad.
It was very nice this afternoon to sit down and watch an episode of Who that I very nearly didn't get to watch before the show, so I'm glad.
I finished... I think I started part 1 on Saturday and I finished part 2. I started part 2 last night and finished it. So yeah, I was kind of a bit close as well, but I saw Aidan sending me all the TVD extras and I'm like, what's this guy doing?
We'll talk about that later.
Good, yeah. But I'm keen to know why.
I think I watched like part 1 on Friday or maybe Saturday. And then I was going to watch part 2 yesterday. I came home from work. And I had a bunch of uni work to do, but usually once I come home from work, I give myself like an hour lunch break and I put on an episode of something, and then I go do uni work for the rest of the day. It's a long day. But that like hour of just like chilling out and sort of resetting after work is really good for me. But I got home from work yesterday and I tried to put in the Doctor Dances, but then my Blu-ray player just wouldn't connect to my TV, and I refused to watch it in my bedroom on the PlayStation on the smaller TV. I'd like to watch it. I spent like $380 on this box set. I want to watch it on the big screen in full HD and stuff.
I wouldn't blame you for doing that at all.
Yeah, so I was so mad. I fiddled around with it for like 20 minutes, and then I literally had no idea how to fix it. I tried everything I could possibly think of.
How did you fix it?
Well, I gave up yesterday, and I just started doing work, so I was in a shit mood for the rest of the day. And then today, like 2 hours before recording this now, I went up and it still wasn't working. I was hoping, sometimes it doesn't connect properly, but then it resets itself and it just works. But it still wasn't working, so I like pulled everything out. And I've got a very nice theater room with lots of equipment in there for like surround sound and stuff like that. And I had to pull all the cables out and all that shit. And eventually, I got it to work somehow. I don't really know how. And so I was very concerned for a second that I wasn't going to get to watch part 2. But here we are.
He made it.
Here we are. I feel like we've had a very depressing start to the show this week, Connor.
Yeah, nothing changes really, does it?
No, we're here to supply some fun, to have a good old laugh and enjoy Doctor Who. Connor, shall we roll into the intro, into the super fun intro?
Let's do it, Aidan. Let's play on that bitch.
I'm pressing play right now.
50% podcast.
Wasn't that amazing?
I love that brief just pause that me and Aidan do, and I'm just waiting for someone to talk. Like
when you guys listen to it, the theme song naturally flows into the dialogue, but for us, we just pause for 5 seconds, you know?
Behind the scenes, it's not that magical. We've got to have an awkward silence and then go, okay, we're back. Good to be here, Aidan. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, like I said, it's great to be doing this. I was looking forward to this, even though, because we're filming this one, recording this one a little earlier because Connor's going away. So we only last recorded one like 3 or 4 days ago, and I feel like strange. I have a lot to talk about. Like, I've got a few things from the episode, but I have like a list of things outside of the episode that I want to talk about as well. So that's So that's pretty cool. Anyways, welcome back, guys, folks, to another episode of the 50% Doctor Who podcast. Connor, give us a round of applause. We've made it to episode 8 of our show. Thank you.
Yeah, baby.
Wow.
Good luck cancelling us.
Not one bit. So today we are talking about Series 1, episode 9 and 10. 9 and 10, yes. 9 and 10. That's The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances. So I have a conundrum, Connor.
I Oh shit! I was gonna say that episode 12 name, but I fucking forgot. No, 11 name. Anyway, gone. The something conundrum.
I have a big I've got a Senander.
That's it. Yeah, go on. What's the conundrum?
Well, you know how I always steal my intros from Wikipedia.
There isn't one for this episode. Is that what you're going to say to me?
There is, but because we're doing 2 episodes, it's 2 separate ones.
Oh shit.
I'll just read the Empty Child one.
Gone.
The Empty Child is the 9th episode of the first series of the British science fiction program Doctor Who, which was first broadcast on BBC One on the 21st of May 2005. It was the first episode written by Stephen Moffat, who later became the showrunner and main writer for the series in 2010 following Russell T Davies' departure, and was directed by James Hawes. That was a long sentence. The Empty Child is the first of a 2-part story which concluded with the Doctor dances on the 28th of May. In the episode, the alien time travel, the 9th Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, and his travelling companion, Rose Tyler, Billy Piper, arrive in 1941 during the London Blitz, where they find that the city has been terrorised by a strange child in a gas mask, repeatedly asking for his mother. Are you my mummy? Connor, I've spoken a lot this show already, so let's just jump straight into your thoughts. Go on, babble, so I feel like I'm not babbling.
Okay,
I'm still babbling.
So, I know I've already spoiled this in like pretty much every episode that we've done so far, and Aidan did already mention it, but this is my favourite episode of Doctor Who. Let me say this, I don't think it is the best episode ever. There's definitely better episodes, but this is just the most nostalgic episode, I think, of Doctor Who for me, which is why it's always had a soft place in my heart. It was always my favourite as a child, mostly because it scared the absolute hibby-jibbies out of me, and when I say that, I mean that. I think I had nightmares about the fucking the Jamie, the gas mask zombie, for about probably a solid up to I was about maybe 15, something ridiculous like that. Like I would be absolutely terrified. It scared the hell out of me as a kid. I can't remember when I think I watched it live. I might be wrong, but I just remember watching these 2 episodes and being literally scarred. Like it terrified me as a kid, but I almost really loved that. I feel like that's what made me fall in love with the episode. Of course, we get our first interaction with Jack. I think as just like an episode idea, I was really engaged, and the older I got, the more I fell in love with the story. I think, and this is what I miss from the show nowadays, I just think this episode just encaptures everything I love about Doctor Who. It wasn't scared to be scary. And again, I know I sound like a broken record when I say the BBC didn't know their demographics, like age-wise and stuff, and I think that clearly tells, because it's terrifying. And there's that scene with the Doctor, not ex-Doctor, the Doctor in the hospital, and when he turns into the gas mask zombie, oh my god! I swear on my life, I said on my other podcast, I torn down about it. I swear on my life, I went to cover my eyes for a solid 10 seconds, and I was like, you are reviewing this episode, Connor. You need to watch it. And I manned up, and I did watch it. It's not as scary to me anymore, but I remember I had to completely skip that scene when I was younger. It took me, I don't think I watched the episode when I was like younger, like rewatched it, but I would always close my eyes in that scene. I don't think I really did open my eyes for a few years, and I've only just tried to get over that literally on Saturday, and I'm nearly 22 years old and I still struggle to watch it, which I think is like, yeah, go on.
It's a very adulty episode, so I'm surprised that as a kid it was your favorite. Like, it's obviously a great episode, but as a kid I tend to gravitate to more, the cool Dalek, Cybermen, all them sort of classic action episodes.
Yeah, I can't really tell you why. I think it hit the right time with me, and I remember being fascinated with the war when I was a kid, especially World War II. Yeah.
That's something that's only really grown on me as the older I've got, especially since I've been to Berlin.
Yes, you have. Yeah.
It's interested me far more, and now I watch these kind of episodes, and I'm like, I love the production design. I love the whole aesthetic in these stories and movies like that. So as a kid, I never really had that.
Yeah, because it's in the It's in the London Blitz, which when I first watched the episode, I didn't know what the Blitz was, and I remember my dad afterwards was like, "Well, if you're interested in that, you should watch this movie called The Battle of Britain." Don't know if you've ever seen it, but that's about the fighter planes in the war and stuff. And like I said, I think I was just so attracted to the episode because of how much it terrified me, and I never, which is so weird because I never really like. I can never really like go and watch stuff that's like horror. Like, I always have to keep the lights on. I always like to watch it with a mate. If I go to the cinema to watch a horror movie, I have to have like a jumper over me, and I always get nervous.
Yeah.
But I think there's something about shows like Doctor Who and stuff and all that kind of thing that's primarily a kids show. I'm always fascinated when they push the boundaries a little bit. Like my favorite Simpsons episode also terrified me as a kid. And I feel like I was always really attracted to episodes of a TV show I watched that were always very edgy and kind of pushed the boundaries for that one episode. Because you're right, it is a very adult episode. But
I always like that as well. This episode, it's adulty, and it just feels adulty. It doesn't necessarily, to me, feel like it's trying to be edgy in any way. Like there's times in the show, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's definitely been times in the show where as a kid, I was like, Doctor Who's getting edgy. It's so cool now. But this wasn't one of those moments. It just feels naturally kind of adulty. But with a kind of childish thing to it with the kids and Nancy.
Yes. Yeah. I've said a lot. I've also got more to say, but go on. You take it away a bit.
Sure. Like I said, I only watched it like an hour and a half ago, the second part. So I didn't have time to write any proper notes. But I wrote just a few very quick things as I was waiting for you to come on. For one, like pretty much every episode, this show, this two-parter has brilliant performances, and I think this could be the best guest cast so far. Regardless, separate from the sort of recurring cast of like Jackie and Mickey. But like Nancy's really great, and we obviously get Jack in this.
Oh god, yeah.
Even though Jack becomes more than just a guest, he kind of is a guest in this episode. And they're both just cast so perfectly. I thought the whole way through Nancy, the actress that played her, Florence Hoth, she was amazing the whole way through it, and Jack is instantly likable. I kind of forgot how interesting his character was, because you kind of just know him as Captain Jack, the guy that works for Torchwood and he can't die.
There's a time agent, isn't that sick? I love that.
Yeah, but the episode goes a bit more into the whole time agent stuff, and I forgot that he was a con man. It's so well done. Jack is such a well-rounded character, just from these two episodes, and I wonder if it was a Moffat creation or a RTD creation, you know?
I always wondered that.
Yeah, it's interesting that, considering Moffat penned his first two episodes, why he never brought him back.
Yes, I know. I literally always thought... I mean, it could have been the case where, like, Ross was like, here's a guy who's going to be in, like, my last 3 episodes, and can you write him in, do it like this, use this kind of stuff, and... Yeah, but it is. I 100% agree. I always wondered why he didn't bring him back.
Okay, whilst we're talking about Barrowman, I might jump into the extras on the Blu-ray I was watching. We'll come back to our review shortly.
After these short messages,
just because they kind of fit in nicely with where we are. So I watched 2 little clips, 3 actually. One of them was a cool behind the scenes of the Blitz stuff, which I didn't realize. Obviously, it's a bunch of CGI, but I didn't realize there was actually a practical element to it, where they blew up the blimps, but they made them. They were like miniature scale blimps, and they
cool.
filmed it was all about like how they filmed the lighting on those, because they had to have the explosions underneath, and it was interesting because the film I'm working on at film school at the moment, we need to have like it's sort of in like a war-torn aesthetic, and. We're looking at ways. We've ended up. My mate bought $600 lights that flicker like fire to use in it. But we're looking up different ways of doing this. And they had a cool technique on there. It wouldn't work for us because we need the effect in times of dialogue. But they had like a bright light shining at a orange reflector, and someone was shaking that orange reflector, and it shone like a flickering effect onto the blimp.
Right.
But shaking the reflector would make too much sound for us to be able to do dialogue at the same time. So that was cool. I also watched a bunch of trailers, and I remember watching a few of them, which was cool.
Those classic trailers slap. Hey, I remember. You sent me on Snapchat, I was like, that literally takes me back.
So good. And then the other thing I watched was, I think it was called The Adventures of Captain Jack or something. And it was just an interview with John Barrowman with a few scenes from his episodes in season 1 cut in. And God, he's such a fun guy to interview, firstly. But two notable things that, actually 3. One of them was really funny. He was saying that in Bad Wolf, his naked scene, he was upset that they wouldn't let him shoot it actually naked.
That's classic John Barrowman.
They shot it naked, but he was upset that the BBC wouldn't show his booty on camera.
Okay.
Yeah. But then also he was like...
Yeah, because it just cuts, I remember that.
He was like, I would love for Captain Jack to have his own show. I think he'd be really great. And I was like, oh. You don't know what's coming, my friend.
That's 3 tortured actors in Series 3 now.
Yeah. Crazy.
They must have... I'm sure Russell must have been like, if I could, I would. And he just saw Jack as an opportunity.
Yeah, well, we get our first reference to Torchwood in Bad Wolf.
Do we?
Yeah, we do. It's the answer to one of the questions that the android asked.
Oh, shit! You're not wrong. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. But we'll get to that in a couple of weeks.
Oh god. Dude,
the third thing I found... That. Yeah, it's crazy, hey. The third thing I found interesting was... he was like, yeah, if Jack has his own show, then it'll be cool because... we can all do our separate shows, but then we can all come together and do like a big crossover thing. And I was like, fuck, is he just giving Russell ideas? Do we owe the season 4 finale to Jack, to John?
Of course we do. I love that, man. Crazy. That's brilliant. I mean, God, yeah, you're right though. He's just so good. And I can totally see why Russell would, again, I don't know if those hints were just jokes because he already knew they were going to do it, or like he was brought in and it was like, if your character works, we'll do this, or they were just always planning on doing it. It kind of seems like one thing I don't think they ever address again is the whole, he mentions he's lost 2 years of his memory.
Dude, I think that would make such a cool Torchwood season 5. I've been thinking about it.
Thank you.
And, I think, we've done a lot with Torchwood. I don't know there's much more they could do in an Earth-based Torchwood. But all I'm saying is Torchwood should take it to the man and have maybe Jack and a few people go and explore the lives of Captain Jack. That's a Big Finish title, actually. Maybe that's what they do in Big Finish. I don't know. But, maybe it would be cool for them to go to the time agency and actually have like a series that explores all that kind of shit,
Well, I very much doubt this will even come up, but he is rumored to be in Resolution. Is that what's called? Resolution of the Daleks?
Revolution.
Revolution,
yeah. I'll believe it when I see it.
I reckon he is.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I just, I'm not getting my hopes up for anything.
I swear on my life, when I saw him come back, it's just such a cliche, and I've never done this before. Only Doctor Who could do this to me. And bear in mind, I don't really like the new seasons, but when I saw him come back, it's how much I love him. I literally was like fucking screaming.
Same.
And
dude.
I literally was like jumping around my room going, oh my God, because I never believed they'd do it.
Nah.
I never believed they'd do it.
I had the best experience with that because I was going camping the day it came out. And obviously, us being in Australia, the episodes, they don't show on Australian TV till like 24 hours after because of the time difference.
On the Mondays,
they don't want to play it in Australia before they play it in the UK. So, but what ABC, the Australian Broadcasting Company, what they do is
Corporation.
They put the episodes onto ABC iView immediately after they air in the UK. So they come on the iView at like 3 or 4 in the morning or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was leaving for my camping trip at like 7 a.m. So I got up at like 5:30, and I put it on because I remember the 2-part opening of Series 12 was obviously quite big and there was quite a few spoilers in it. So I was like, I feel like this season is one where there might actually be some things to get spoiled, unlike Series 11. But then also they'd put up a teaser online that was like, you thought the opener was huge? Get ready for this episode. And John Barrowman had retweeted that. And I saw that and I was like, oh, fuck. I'm so glad he's supporting the show. Part of my mind went, could you imagine if it's because he's in it? But I was so strongly, I so strongly didn't think that would ever happen that I didn't bat an eye. I was like, what a dream, right? And then I was lying in my bed at like 6 in the morning and I hear Jack's voice. I love the way that scene plays out as well. You hear his voice and
it is a great scene.
You do get to think for a bit and be like, is that? No.
No, that's so true. That's literally me. I remember I was like walking to my bathroom or something when it was in the background. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
No. Bro, I literally, I had a similar thing where I remember I woke up on, it was a public holiday, I remember, on the Monday when it came out. And I woke up and I went on my phone and I went on Twitter thinking it was a Sunday. And I quickly went off. I was like, what am I doing? It's already out. It's Monday. And it was like a public holiday, so there was no work. I was like, shit, I could have spoiled something. And then I watched the episode and I would have literally been so mad if I'd saw on Twitter that he was back. Because I reckon that is the biggest reveal I can remember in any TV show that I've watched in ages. Because I was like you, I never, ever thought they'd bring him back. Never. And I literally went bizarre. I literally went into I was like fucking breakdancing. I was doing the worm. I was like I was so excited.
It's a very short bit of score, but say what you want about Segun Akinola's, but I love the little thing that plays when he comes up and the shot like dollies in on him. And it's like dun dun dun.
I don't hate Segun. I just like Marigold more.
Dun 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 dun. Sorry, I'm getting in a bad habit of just.
I love how I did read the synopsis of our last episode, and you put an Aidan becomes Murray Cold.
Well,
it's true. That's Segun, so Aidan becomes Segun.
I think we sing like 3 or 4 Murray songs in last week's episode.
When you say we, do you mean just you?
No, both of us.
Do I?
You do Valdecum at one point.
I do. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
We both do songs for 10, and I think that. And I do. I Am the Doctor as well. It's a musical episode, you know.
And you do The Wall as well, I think. Hell of a Bird.
Yeah. Fuck. What was I thinking? Oh yeah, and then I went upstairs to say goodbye to Mum and Dad because I was about to leave on the trip, and I was like, bye. By the way, Captain Jack's back, and then I closed the door.
Dude, I literally said the same thing to my family.
I was like a kid on Christmas, mate. I tell you what.
I was upstairs. I was like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. He's back, bitch. That's how much of a lot character he is. I'm so glad people. Again, I feel like if you got the wrong actor, this would have been quite a cheesy, annoying character. But John is just so. He's just so charismatic. It's not forced. You have to pick a specific actor, I feel like, to do this kind of role.
Yeah.
And he's just so... And I also like the way out the gate, they just full on say he's, bisexual. That's not a thing that got written in later. Because you, hear about how he's, he said he, slept with that bloke, and then he likes Rose, obviously, and it's like...
Yeah, I like how that bloke rocks up in the second part as well.
Somehow this didn't make sense. How is the thing suddenly airborne? That thing I did not get that.
What's airborne?
It's becoming they go after that bloke turns into has a gas mask. The doc runs over and it's like, it must be becoming airborne, and Rose is like, what's stopping it from getting us? And he says nothing, and I'm like, and it never gets mentioned again about being airborne, and I was like, what? That literally doesn't make any sense. Apart from that.
It travels through the air.
Yeah, but how does that work?
The coronavirus.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't ever get mentioned again about being airborne.
That is true.
I mean, I remember thinking when I was younger, I was like, oh, when did this guy touch something? But I guess it just kind of was like spreading around and stuff, and like, it doesn't really. That's another thing. It doesn't really get like this. So anyone can have it. It's just like simply just a touch can. They don't really address that. It's like just literally a touch, I guess. Like they don't ever show someone getting touched and it happens, and like I don't know. But I remember that being like a huge doozy, because in my dreams I would always be chased by like a horde of them, and I'd be like terrified about getting touched. And like
just use your square gun.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that is pretty cool. And they speak about how it got burnt down because the doctor went, why does he go that? Why does he blow it up? Do you know why? Yeah, me.
I don't know, but that weapon was very classic Doctor Who-esque, and I'm all about that. It was very cool the way the door just like faded away, like the handle or whatever. That's so cool. Classic Who. I love those things, and they're not done like shit and cheesily. You just kind of see them and you're like, oh yeah, because it's 2005, they can get away with that kind of thing much more, I think, because the effects are kind of camp in 2005 anyways, so.
Yeah, also, I love the first, like, 15 minutes, like, when it starts in space, it's instantly captivating, it gets your attention, they land, they don't know it's the Blitz, Doctor goes into the bar, and there's that great line where hilarious. He says, the anything falling from the sky. This scene where Rose runs off and like he speaks to the cat, and then the phone rings and you get the first scene with Nancy, and then he goes to the house and you see her do the food, and like then she meets Jack and she's hanging over London. It's such a good like 15 minutes. It's instantly captivating. It literally just sucked me in when I was like younger. I was instantly into it.
I agree.
The whole, I don't know if you noticed as well, the hospital that they go to in this episode is the same hospital that's in London.
You know, I recognise the set.
Yes, it probably was the BBC doing that, but it's a cool continuity thing. But yeah, it probably was the BBC just being a bit lazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they do use the same hospitals over years, like especially in the UK.
What can you do?
Yeah, but there's some really cool, like, just horror elements, I think. Like, the whole hospital stuff, like, them all sleeping in the bed, but seeing the same injury. Again, when when the doctor at the hospital turns into the gas mask zombie, it's terrifying. There's a scene in the second part with they go into the room where they first brought Jamie, and there's all those drawings on the wall, and they're just playing the tape, and the tape runs out, and he's in the room. And it's like, oh, he's getting chased.
That was really good.
Somehow he has like karate chop action and can smack through a wall.
Well, they said why the nanogenes gave him.
They did actually. So that's the thing. The other ones don't have that,
don't they?
Well, that's the thing, because when they run into that closet. And the doctor's like, that should stop it. And then Jack's like, but the wall didn't stop it. And his eyes got to find us first. And I'm like, hang on a minute. Does that mean that none of the other ones can do it? I don't think they can. I think it's just him. Because, like,
I don't know.
They run to the closet and there's heaps outside. I remember thinking,
yeah.
Why didn't they just smash through the door?
I don't know.
It is cool with the whole dancing scene, though. And Jack disappears and he gets, like, a selfless act. The music. The music's brilliant, and so many scenes I love.
I know you were saying like the first 15 minutes is good, and I agree. Well, when I was watching it the whole way through the first part, and then like the first half of the second part, I was like, this is really good Doctor Who, right? But the way you've been saying like it's the best episodes of the whole show, I've been like, I was watching it and I was like, I do really enjoy it, but it's not quite there for me. And then, dude, the last like 15, 20 minutes are so good.
Everybody
Chris is
lives.
Brilliant. The score is phenomenal. The script, Moffat he's the best writer to write for Doctor Who, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It is so good. Every line of dialogue is amazing. The twists are amazing. It's so happy. It's so feel good. And the ending has so much time to breathe. Yeah. Like, the fact that we got, like, the whole... The dance at the end... That okay, this comes down to the direction as well, I reckon. When we have Jack in the ship, and he's, like, ready to die. And then we pull out, and we're in the TARDIS.
Such a good shot.
That is so good, man. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
I even... When I was watching it then, I was like, oh... I know the TARDIS comes now, but I don't remember how it comes in. And then the shot kept going, and then I realized we were in the TARDIS, and I was like, fuck, this is so good. Like, me, who's seen this episode many times, not for a few years, obviously, was still, like, blown away by this stuff. And just how happy Chris was, and how he, like, throws the nanogenes at people. I was kind of waiting for Song for 10 to start for some reason. It was the vibe I was getting, and he was just, like, loving it.
It is. After, like, a really, like, depressing, like, episode, like, 2 episodes, I feel like... by the way, can I just say again, I agree. I definitely think there are better episodes, but, again, I can't really describe it. It's just always been my favourite. Do you know how, like... I mean, I'm not a really sporty person, but you know how, like, you're kind of born, and as you're a kid, you get told... This is our team, you know? And they may not be the best team. They're probably quite shit, but they're always your team. It's like I was always told Manchester United, and I don't watch sport, but I'm not even from Manchester. But it's kind of like that. I feel like I grew up, and I always just was captivated by it. And that ending as well, I totally agree. Like, I think that ending is the dancing scenes, the selfless act by Jack where he actually takes the bomb and he does, you know, he kind of accepts death, and, like, it's that great scene when he's, like, talking to his computer about how he woke up in bed with these, like, executioners, like, stuff like that is so fun. He's like, oh, we stayed in touch as well, and he's drinking a martini, and the dancing scene, the music, the score, you're so right. That beautiful scene at the end with, like, Jamie and Nancy, like, and everyone lives. Everyone lives. That never happens.
Just this once.
Everybody
lives.
It's so good. Look, I agree. I definitely had faults of it. I think part of me, when I watched it now, and I haven't watched it in a few years, probably maybe 2 years. Like, obviously I'm a lot more critical now, and I probably did enjoy it more as a kid, but I can't help but just get a warm, fuzzy feeling whenever anyone asks me what my favorite episode is. I always say this. Again, I don't think it is the best. But just from, like, a standpoint of growing up with the show and just constantly watching it, I would always just go back to this episode. And yeah. And I do love as well how Jack just goes with them, and he's in, like, the last 3 episodes, and obviously he comes back, and, like, there's so much to love about it.
Just another weird season 1 thing,
Yes, totally. Because you had the whole Adam thing, and then, like, but then you don't look back on series 1 and think there weren't enough just Rose and Doctor episodes. No, like, it really is just well paced, like, the whole series. Like, I've always just loved it. Yeah. I had a blast rewatching it, to be honest.
It is really good. I enjoyed, we've discussed this before. Your favorite era is RTD, mine is Moffat.
Yeah.
And we won't get into that debate, but I was so happy to get a bunch of Moffatisms in this episode. Not that I enjoy RTD's writing and pretty much almost every writer on the show, but I just find Moffat's writing fucking hilarious. I think it's so funny, and there's so many Moffatisms in this, and they're so present in all of his episodes through, like, to his whole run on the show. Sort of a really quirky sort of bisexual or something. Jack is so similar to River, who he later created. The sense of humor is the same. Sort of the element of twists. Obviously, things got a little twistier when he took over the show. But even here, like, there was good twists in terms of Jack's character, what the warship was, and that Nancy is the kid's mum. That stuff is so good. The whole fact that there's, like, a children aspect to it. Moffat loves like having kids involved in the show, and I actually adore that element of it. I think it's really sweet, and I like how, RTD did make the show for kids, but Moffat did that even more so, I think, without it feeling, for the most part, too childish.
Yes.
There's a few places where he might have got a bit far with it, but and I adore that. There's so many Moffatisms. And then it got me thinking. I had a big thought, Connor.
Yeah, go on.
So there's a lot of RTD-isms. I don't know. Russell Davies. I don't know how to say that.
Russell
so
T.
many
Davies
things that RTD did, like just having words repeated in his series. The sense of humor is similar to Moffat's, but it is kind of different in a way as well. The fact that he likes more of a bit of a soap opera drama to his shows, like it's unique to how it is, right? Mm-hmm. Moffat, I've been through all the Moffatisms, and then I was thinking, the only Chibnallisms that I can think of so far is like bad dialogue. It's literally, it's the only recurring. I hate to say it, because that I do actually enjoy. It's definitely not my favorite era on the show, but I do find a lot of enjoyment in certain episodes, and season 12 as a whole I did quite enjoy. But there's nothing that happens that I go, oh, that's so Chibnall, other than when there's like an unnecessary line of dialogue or just just his dialogue is shocking.
I agree. I think, I don't know, it sucks because I really like, don't get me wrong, they're terribly written, but I really like all the characters. I really like everyone they chose. Yeah. No problem with Jodie. This is a common misconception when people say they don't like. I have to say this because I don't hate Jodie. I think she's a terrific actress, amazing in Broadchurch. When I heard she was going to be the Doctor, I was like, cool, she can handle those emotional scenes. There's barely any emotional scenes. There's no episodes like this. There's no episodes of heart. I just think they're terribly written, and that's the biggest letdown so far. That's what I miss about watching episodes like this. I'm like, man, this show used to be good. It used to be really good. There were some really clever ideas.
I feel that. I think I like Series 12 a lot because there's a lot of, I love when shows take risks. It's the reason why I love
like The Last
Jedi and The Last of Us Part 2. I kind of love that stuff. And so I don't necessarily think The Timeless Children is a great episode just because it's so exposition heavy. Sorry about the big truck that's driving past my house again.
I'll be able to hear it when I rewatch the episode.
Yeah, you will.
Damn, a lot of trucks go past your house.
They do. It's weird. I'm in like such a quiet suburb as well. But like in terms of like the changes to canon, like I'm kind of okay with the risks he took with that stuff. I'm not too butthurt on that. I'm interested to see how they play out.
You barely see him. Do you notice that? Like when it was Russell and Moffat,
I was thinking that as well today.
You see them, like they do interviews. You just heard about them. Like I can't say I've seen any like interviews.
He is there. I think a lot of it does come down to there's much less behind the scenes sort of clips, and we for like the Moffat and RTD era, especially the Moffat era, we would get like sort of interviews before the episode talking about the new episode. Yeah. And then afterwards they'd have like behind the lens or whatever, and they'd discuss the episode, and they'd have heaps of clips of them in there. Now we get like one sort of couple of minute long sort of behind the scenes thing on the YouTube channel.
The reason why I'm such a bad writer is because I don't know what I'm doing. Normally go like that. I remember.
I do think Chibnall has a master plan, and even though Series 11
to see it.
is I think we're slowly seeing it come together. Look, depending on how season 3 plays out, then I might get proven wrong. But did I say 3? I meant 13.
Well, he's third season. Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, I definitely think 2 is an improvement over 1. Sorry. Yeah, now you got me doing it. I definitely think 12 was an improvement over 11. But I've got to say wholeheartedly, I honestly think that Series 11 is the worst series, and I think 12 is the second worst series.
Yeah.
It hurts to say that. I really
think I'll
wanted
have
it
to
to succeed.
see on rewatch.
I think it looks great. I just don't think the writing's good at all.
I'd agree 11's the worst. As for 12, I think it'll have to be the rewatch for me to figure that out because, like I said, I enjoyed how full of twists and turns and all the things that Series 12 threw at us. But a lot of it, like when you see Jack come back now, you're like, okay, cool, that's a good scene. But then there's not much more to it, and you see like all of the Ruth Doctor reveal, and stuff like that, where you're like, oh, that's cool, but we're yet to sort of see what that explanation is and things. He set up a lot of things in the newest season, I think. So
yeah, it's a lot. That's the thing. It feels like a lot of stuff. And here's the thing. I saw a guy. He made a comment on Tyler's post, and I think he hit the nail on the head. He basically said, bringing back a beloved character isn't good writing. It's just the reason why we like that scene is because we love John Barrowman. And, the cast was really... David Bradley was really good in it as well. No.
Yeah. What do you mean David Bradley? Do you mean...
Bradley Walsh, sorry.
Yeah.
I always get those two mixed up. That's the first Doctor.
No, but I do think... And
apologies, though, and I always mix those two people up.
This again comes down to I'm putting a lot of faith in Chibnall in thinking that.
But you gotta have faith.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt for a lot of things.
But you gotta have faith.
One of them being gotta have faith. One of the things being that maybe Jack is in Revolution of the Daleks. Sure, maybe, and then that will sort of get rid of this whole theory. But my theory is they brought him back and had a bit of fun in Fugitive of the Judoon for two reasons. One is that it then makes the Ruth Doctor reveal even more like, this is a big fucking episode. Holy shit. Like, I was reading what Moffat was saying about Fugitive of the Judoon, and he was saying he thinks it was a great episode and that it was so clever that he sort of gave the episode a kind of generic title and then sort of just threw this random twist of Jack being back in it, which then was used to kind of mask a second twist. You get a twist like that, you're not expecting another big twist, and then it happens, and you're like, shit. Wow.
Yeah, to be fair, though, it was co-written by the guy who did Demons of the Punjab, and I think that's a good episode, so I reckon we got a few...
Patel or something, yeah.
Yeah, I think we got a few points to this bloke.
My second reason why I think Jack was back in that episode is because it was obviously probably only about 10 minutes of screen time, all up, if that. But it was obviously all studio based. So now we've had the surprise of like, oh my god, Jack's back. So now in future, if we see Jack leaked on set, it's not going to be like, oh fuck, I wish I got to see him come back live, Now we're kind of like, okay, Jack's back. Do you know what I mean? Like, that can't get spoiled anymore.
Yeah, well, apparently, I can't remember what it was, but I think there was like I don't know, it was some interview with like John Barrowman, and apparently like it was on the set of an episode, and it was like there was a set in the background that wasn't seen in this and that, and that's why people think
so what it is the Doctor Who YouTube channel does a bunch of like quizzes and stuff, and Jodie, Mandip, and Tosin, for some reason not Browders, I don't know why not, but those three play like, they do quizzes with each other and puzzles and stuff that they put on the channel, and there was one, they did like a competition weekly, and different actors would win each week, and then they did the finale of it, and in the finale it was quite like inclusive in terms of like all of the crew, you could hear them laughing behind the set, and quite often it would pan to like the crew laughing at them and stuff like that. And then at one point it panned to John Barrowman, who wasn't in any of these behind the scenes quiz stuff before or anything. And apparently he was wearing a different outfit.
That's right.
Than what we see him wear in the episode. So I'm also kind of like, oh, well, maybe they might have just shaken it up. Maybe John Barrowman was in for like a costume change in for like a costume fitting that day or something, and they were trying different things. For me, that doesn't confirm he's back. It gives us reason to believe that he might be, but I'm not sat there going, he's back. He's in the Christmas special.
Look,
I think it would be great.
I don't know. I don't want to say excited. I'm more intrigued because it could be most probably the main three cast's last episode, which is rumored. We know the Darks are in it.
It's not Mandips, I don't think.
Yeah, we don't know. I'd like them to stay. I got no issue with them staying, but I think they might be going. And then we got the Darks in it. The Jadoon will be in a few scenes, I presume. The Jadoon will be in a few scenes on the platoon on the moon.
On the moon, yeah.
And then if Jack is in it, then c'est la vie. If that's true, excellent.
Yeah, that'll be it has the possibility to be a good episode.
What if Jack became the main companion? Oh my god.
That's the thing that I'm kind of like. That would be sick.
It would never happen.
Well,
but to be fair, we said that about him coming back.
I know, and because Tosin and Bradders are pretty much confirmed to be going. And in fact, I think Bradders is confirmed. I don't think there's word on Tosin. It's just rumors. But I think it would make sense for them to go together. And I don't see there being anything more to do with Ryan. They barely had anything for him in Series 12.
There was never anything for Yaz.
I actually think they started to get a lot better at writing Yaz. And she's my favourite of the three companions now.
What?
I genuinely really enjoy her. I think she's a really cool character. Obviously, Bradders is funny, but in Series 12, he has no arc. And he doesn't.
I just feel really bad for her because she has nothing to do.
She doesn't, but they did slowly start to give her more in Series 12, I thought.
I just feel bad, that's all.
And I think her and Jodie have a great dynamic that still has stuff to be explored. I don't think the other two do have that.
The relationship.
Oh, I'm not, I don't care if they... I kind of don't want them to do anything lovey-dovey with that just because the lovey-dovey Doctor stuff's all been done before.
Even that was unnecessary.
Yeah, it got a bit much, didn't it, with David and Billy?
I was thinking of River and the Doctor, but...
I didn't mind that too much.
That was annoyed me. I don't know why.
Sure, it was flirty, but it just... I don't know. It felt like a flirty married couple or something. I don't know.
With Pete, it worked better. But I just never got... Sure. I never understood the whole Matt, and... I don't know. That's just me personally, but I think with Pete it worked, because it was like... He's older, and he was like... It's like he's an older Time Lord, and it's like... I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch Boomtown, though.
That'll be good.
I don't think it's as bad as we're all thinking, but...
No, it's definitely not. I was going to say something. I can't remember. What were we talking about? Something about Doctor Who.
You being a simp.
Me being an absolute frickin' simp.
Yeah, sorry, Aidan, it's true.
When we were talking about...
We're talking about John Barrowman coming for Series 12. 11, 13. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah. But I think, so if Yaz does stay and the other two go, I think they're going to want to have another male in the TARDIS. So they'll either introduce a new male companion in Series 13's first episode, which I wouldn't be against. I think it took a while to get there, but I think Yaz is fleshed out enough now that if we got a new companion in Series 13, we could spend a bit of time with that companion. And it won't feel like it's detracting from Yaz.
I'd be very surprised if Yaz stays.
Really? No, I think she will. Or John could join the TARDIS team, which would be so exciting. But we'll have to see.
I'd love that.
Other thing about that is, I know it probably will have been pushed back because of COVID, but they were meant to start filming in September, I believe, which means we'd probably see some pics of that stuff before the Christmas special airs.
It's definitely probably going to be New Year's, to be honest.
Yeah, but even even if they don't confirm that Jack is a main member of the TARDIS, they could just play it off like he's in the first couple of episodes.
Did you Did you see that meme on TARDIS posts and where it was that interview with it was like Matt, David, and Jodie on a Zoom call with an interviewer, and the interviewer asked, "What's the thing you miss most about Doctor Who?" to Matt and David, and David was like, You know what I really miss? The Christmas episodes that Matt's like, yes, and then it zooms in on Jodie and it plays the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme. Dun 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 dun.
Jodie's like, I cannot relate.
Literally, come on, just give her a Christmas special. I miss those.
Honestly,
there's something better than waking up on Boxing Day and watching a shitty Christmas special that always disappoints you. And
they're shitty but fun, you know.
Yeah.
Even though time's kind of shit, yeah. I enjoy that one for some reason. It's very Christmassy.
Time with the Doctor.
Yeah, yeah.
It's alright. It's okay.
It's no Jesus Christ.
Yourself?
Connor, I'm gonna go urinate. I'll be about 30 seconds. It's up to you what you want to do with this next 30 seconds. You can either sell a product, you can talk about something, you can bully me for 30 seconds, and I'll just add some of that fun elevator music that I made in the previous episode, okay?
Okay.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go for it.
Oh shit, I'm on the spot now. What should I talk about? What's on my mind recently? Oh yeah, so I finished The Last of Us Part 2 yesterday. I didn't buy it because I didn't want to. I don't really play games, so I watched the Rad Brad play it. It was 53 parts, I believe. I spent a majority of the last month watching it. I didn't hate it, definitely didn't love it. I felt like it was just some weird decisions. I know Aidan liked it a lot, but, you know, it doesn't really surprise me. I think it was some interesting storylines, and it definitely didn't go the way people thought it would. A lot of fans were upset and disappointed. I won't say why in case you haven't seen it, but it definitely was ambitious, but something being ambitious doesn't mean it's good. And there were some things that happened later on in the game, about halfway through, which did, again, confuse me. And we tune in to see characters in TV shows and games and movies and everything. Sometimes you just want to see that.
I'm back.
Let's pretend we didn't talk about this.
My headphones on. Hold on. 1 second. Connor.
And that's why you should buy Audacity, which is free.
Did you do Audacity again?
Maybe. You have to wait and see.
That's so boring if you did. You had to do something fun. People will probably switch off at that point.
I didn't do Audacity.
Thank God. Did
You'll
you
have to
bully
wait. I didn't. I mentioned you once, and it was a dig, and you'll hear it when you hear it. But that's not why I didn't speak about you. I just mentioned you, and then I said so, and you'll hear it. It's not that bad.
Interesting.
Nothing I wouldn't say to your face.
I got a new classic season of Doctor Who this week, Connor.
Hey?
I got a new classic season of Doctor Who this week.
Okay, do you put it on when you go to sleep?
No, why?
Because it's, really easy to fall asleep to.
Is that a dig at Classic Who?
Yeah, it's not my thing.
Look, it is.
I don't know how you watch it, but hey, I love it. I do love it, but I
actually love the show so much more than you do, Connor.
That's not true. I think I've always thought I loved it more than you.
Bullshit.
You went through a weird stage in year 9 or 10. No, not 9. Probably maybe 10, 11 when you're like, yeah, Doctor Who's trash. I like Arrow and The Walking Dead. I remember you said, it's not my favourite show anymore. And I said, what is? And you said, The Walking Dead. And I almost fell on the floor. I was like, are you kidding me?
Here's my story with that kind of thing, okay? I didn't at the time enjoy Moffat's writing. Whilst Moffat's seasons were coming out, I was cringing so hard. I was like, oh, it's trying so hard to be funny. But now I get it in a way of I get that it's trying to be funny and it's just being dumb and it's having so much fun at being silly and stupid. And I fucking adore that. Everything I hated about Moffat's writing, as I've grown up, I love it. It's so weird. It's so weird.
What is this? It's
like
you
how I
it,
kind
you
of
love it,
the flying Cyberman heads in Ascension of the Cybermen. I don't know why I love it, because it's kind of shit. But I kind of love the fact that it's shit, you know?
It's not great. But
anyways, I got season 14 of Classic Who, which got released in the UK 2 months ago, and finally Australia got it. glad to say they're finally being consistent with their packaging. They went through a stage where they slightly changed, not necessarily the art of the art of the box stayed the same, but just the way, like, one of them was like a flip case, one of them's like a slip case. Now they go for like a cool slip case design, which is completely different to everywhere else in the world, and I kind of like that it's unique like that. It's just there's a where it says like the season title, like season 10 or 12 or whatever. It doesn't line up with the 3 original seasons that came out, which pisses me off when I look at it on the shelf. But I think once I have a shit ton of them, or once I have all of them, then it will be fine. The more I get, the less it bugs me. So, yeah. The reason I brought this up, though, was because we are heading into series 2 of Doctor Who very soon, which, of course, brings back the lovable character, Sarah Jane Smith.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
We love her. And in season 14, we get the end of Sarah Jane Smith in Classic Who. I think she's in the 5 Doctors in season 20.
Yeah, because she's on the boat with Tom Baker.
Is she? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because Tom didn't want to do it, so he gets stuck in that triangle or some shit.
Yeah, I know that happens.
That's hilarious. I love how he just didn't want to do it. That is so funny.
To be fair, he did the show for like 7 years, and he'd only been gone for 1 year. I
don't want to do it. That's hilarious.
I don't want to go. Yeah, and look, Liz's scene is actually quite good. You know, a lot of people say Classic Who doesn't have the same emotions as New Who, and it doesn't. But Liz's final scene is really well done, and so is do you know Jo? She was in Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yes.
Jo Grant.
Yeah, Jo Grant. Yeah.
Her last scene is actually the most emotional scene of Classic Who I've seen. It's not like everyone's there crying, but it's like I can't remember exactly how it plays out, but she meets a guy in her final, and it's like a 6-parter. It's a really good 6-parter. It doesn't feel too long at all, really. And she meets a guy in it, and they kind of, they get along, and I think they get like engaged by the end of the episode of the story. And so they have like a little bit of a celebration at the end, and the Doctor has like a little conversation with her, and it's really sweet. It's not a goodbye though. And then she like, her fiance comes up, and they link arms or whatever, and they walk off and start talking to other people at the party. And the Doctor just like watches on and just like slips out through a door, and then just gets in a car and he just drives away, whilst Jo and her new fiance just Jo's like, "Where's the Doctor gone?" And then it just cuts like a wide shot of the Doctor driving away.
He's driving a car. Is it Bessie?
Yeah, Bessie. Yeah.
This is with Pertwee's
it's real
Doctor.
Sweet. Yeah, Pertwee's amazing, man. He's so good.
Shit.
Yeah, it's gets you like, like I said, it's not like crazy emotional, but it's sort of a thing of like, oh, like that's kind of sweet of the Doctor to move on. He was with Jo for quite a while, and he sees that she doesn't really want to let the Doctor go, but the Doctor sort of knows that it's sort of the right time, so he moves on, and it's quite sweet.
Surely Bessie comes back.
I will at some point, maybe under a different showrunner or something.
I reckon it will. It's such a fat
I'm
name.
interested what the next showrunner would be like. I know we've only just got Chibnall, but
that's the thing, we haven't. I know it feels like that, but we haven't. He's been confirmed for like 3.5 years.
Yeah, it was in 2017.
Yeah, I know. I'm literally like you. I'm like, but Chibnall just came in. It's like, no, Matt and Peter only did 3 seasons. This is Jodie's 3rd season coming up. Like, I'd be surprised if she said she's doing a 4th.
I think she should, because to me, series 11 and 12 are kind of like her first series. They work together like that for me. So I want, we have like a big emotional thing at the end of series 12. And I want that to play on her in season 13 and then season 14 to carry that a bit further to finish off her arc.
You know what? I don't mind if she stays. I want Chibnall to go. I want a new showrunner. I don't like him. He sucks. I don't mind if she stays. I just don't want...
I'm interested as to who we'll get.
Yeah.
Also, I have one other topic of conversation. This is a long episode today. We're going long.
You're telling me.
I've got Big Brother to go watch, mate. So I'll keep this one relatively
Oh my God,
quick.
Aidan.
Sorry.
What's wrong with you?
I hate reality TV, but then I got into Lego Masters and then Big Brother. I hate it at first. And to be honest, they're always like 2 hours long, and I hate the first hour because it's just like them bitching and scheming and shit like that. But then the last hour, they have like an elimination challenge, and then the eliminations actually get quite heated. But, last week we were talking about Gareth Roberts, and I did a bit of look into it because I felt bad. At first I mentioned that he might have said some racist remarks. Granted, I did say, don't trust me on this. This is just what I feel like.
Fake news.
Or something. Yeah, but I felt bad to even say that without any evidence. So I looked into it, and I can't find anything racist that I said. So definitely disregard that. Maybe he has, but I there's nothing I could find. But I looked into the Peter situation a bit more.
Yeah, please. I want to hear this. I didn't actually know what happened.
So apparently, since the episode, the caretaker came out, Gareth has been very vocal on Twitter, which I guess would explain why I saw a tweet that was like, after the bad things Gareth Roberts said, I wouldn't want to see him as showrunner or something.
Right.
And that would explain the bad things. I think he slagged off Pete and was saying that Pete wasn't making the Doctor likeable enough and didn't like what he was doing. And I think he slagged off Moffat or the BBC. I don't know which one, but one of the sort of heads of the show. He had a bit of a rant about, and that sort of, yeah. So on set, Gareth wasn't happy with how Pete was sort of being a bit more of a grumpy boy Doctor.
I actually rewatched Heaven Sent on Saturday, and he's just so good. I don't know how anyone can say that.
He's too good. He's my favourite.
He is my favourite. I reckon that's just what I want the Doctor to be. I don't care that he's old. Like, that's what he should be. Like, I loved it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I reckon there won't be a Doctor again I like as much as that. Just his costume, his mannerisms, everything about Heaven Sent. Yeah. But
on a deep personal level, he means a lot to me, and sort of things that his Doctor and the actor himself has sort of taught me in life. So
yeah, and I love his regeneration scene, which is pretty big thing to say.
Yeah,
considering I didn't like the episode, I love his regeneration scene.
Yeah, even the introduction of Jodie in that episode is good.
Yeah, definitely.
So just to wrap up this Gareth thing. So what I ended up doing was stumbling on a Reddit post that was like, what behind the scene dramas have you guys heard about Doctor Who? And there's a bunch of Classic Who stuff, obviously. The showrunners all hated each other in Classic Who.
Really?
Yeah, there's like a bunch of beef, and like they all hated the BBC, especially later in the show. The BBC was wanting to get Doctor Who off the air. And that was why Colin never got a regeneration, because they were like, the BBC was like, all right, you're either canned or you fire Colin. And they were like, fuck. And then they like made a deal with the BBC that when they start filming season 24, that they do one last story with Colin and do a regeneration scene. But they were like, no. Colin was like, no. Colin was like, no, I'm not coming back because I'll have to turn down so much work just to come back and do one story. So that's why Colin never got a proper regeneration scene.
I heard Tom wasn't like very enthusiastic on set either.
In his later seasons, and you can tell. So the order that these collection box sets are coming out is like just a random order. And so far from Tom's, we had 12, which is his first one. Then we had 18, which is the last one. And now we got 14, which is obviously still quite early on in Tom's run. And fuck, I loved season 12. I couldn't believe how good it was. I think it was a great one to launch the collection sets because it holds up really well. And then season 18 was like the third set they did. And I was like, fuck, this is so shit. Tom just was nowhere near as enjoyable in it. But now, like, I got season 14 and I've watched, I think, 9 episodes of that. And Tom is so good. He's so good in it. It's just a shame that he lost it. And he didn't, after Sarah, he didn't want to have a companion, so all the companions he got afterwards, he was kind of a bit shit with until he got, I think, Romana's second incarnation or something. But he would barely even look at them. Like, he genuinely hated the girl that played Layla, his next companion. And I think only recently they've made up and started doing a few big finishes together.
Isn't Layla the code girl?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not up to her yet. So, basically, Sarah Jane leaves, and then we have one 4-part story where the Doctor doesn't have a companion, which is the one I've watched the first part of now. And then Layla gets introduced in the following story.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, it's cool that they give him a story with no companion. That's something that they don't really do in Classic Who much.
What is this? The specials?
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, that's season 14 and the Gareth Roberts chat. On that Reddit thread, by the way, that I was talking about, I fucking saw, apparently, when they were filming Rose, there was a scene that they couldn't use with, like, I think it must have been in, like, the shopping centre scrap thing with the Autons and stuff.
Yeah.
And apparently there was, like, a couch on fire, and it, like, fell onto a bunch of extras or something.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and just no one's talked about it or something. I don't know where this person had heard it. But
is that a load
that
of
sounds
shit?
about right. Because also, and this is a weird coincidence, on this Reddit thread, on the same post, the guy also wrote, apparently people in the Slovene costumes fainted.
That does make sense.
Yeah, because there wasn't enough like air ventilation in them. And then that Doctor Who Twitter account that I was talking about, that posts just like fun facts. It's called Doctor Who InfoSnap, by the way. I recommend following it. It's really interesting.
Yep.
It's not like shit facts. It's really interesting stuff. Happened to post a source. But bear in mind that he definitely didn't look at this Reddit thread because this Reddit thread was like years old. But he just, on the InfoSnap Twitter account, they just happened to post a thing that was a caption from a Doctor Who magazine interview where Russell said that the Sabine costumes are kind of hard to work with. It was our first time doing full prosthetics and people fainted.
Shit.
So I was like, fuck. Yeah. No wonder Chris wanted to leave the show.
Oh, I'm gonna miss him. He's so good.
Yeah. Man, I've spoken a lot this week, I think.
That's right.
Do you feel like I've taken away from you, Connor?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No, I just won't come next time.
No, I'd love to come next time. We've got Boomtown, our drunk episode.
Yeah, we gotta have a few bets. I doubt I'll be drunk. I think I'll try and get myself a bit tipsy.
Speak for yourself. You're talking about me and Dan. Let's be
real. Yeah, great. Can I put out a request? Connor and Dan they tend to burp a lot when they drink, as most people do. Can you not burp down the microphones, please? Whenever I wants to for a laugh and you burp, I'm just like, oh fuck, stop it.
That doesn't sound like me.
Uh-huh.
No, Dan does that. I always go away from the mic. Dan doesn't. He just keeps talking, and I literally say to him all the time, "Can you not do that?"
I'll have a stern sit down with Dan, and I'll say, mate, if you want to come on, no burping.
I agree. I'm totally for that. I 100% agree.
It's disgusting. All right, Connor. Now that this has been a feature-length episode. These 2-parter episodes always seem to go a bit longer.
That's all right.
Which is good and fitting.
Time for the ratings.
Connor, let's do our ratings.
Okay.
We're obviously going to be pretty similar.
So
you go first.
No, I doubt it. We're definitely not going to be similar this week. All right, so I'm going to do something now, which I know is quite bizarre. And yeah, let's be honest. Probably won't make sense to anyone but me. But can I just say wholeheartedly, you won't hear me say this again for probably a few years. Maybe 4 or 5 years you won't ever hear me say this again.
Okay.
So you ready?
I'm ready.
10 out of 10.
Oh. Wow.
Boom.
Wow.
I won't say that again.
I'll allow it.
For a long time. I mean years, probably.
You validated yourself in this show, so I'll allow it.
Nothing is perfect.
It's different from you this week, which is good.
Yeah, I knew you wouldn't pick that, so.
I, at first, gave it a 9.
Wow.
But I think I I shot a little bit higher there. I don't think it was quite a 9, so I've just brought it back to an 8.75.
Okay.
I hate that I keep doing these 0.75s.
Just like
Dark. It's like, I think it's more than 8.5, but it's not quite a 9, you know?
Fair enough. I mean, we're pretty close.
Yeah.
Nothing's perfect, and I probably will never give... There's only 2 episodes I think I could probably give a 10 to, and maybe even not even 2. Probably even 1. And that's not for a very, very, very long time.
I know exactly the episode you're talking about. I don't know what the second one is.
Yeah, I know. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I won't blurt it out like I did.
Probably all know what we're talking about.
Sorry?
The viewers probably know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It won't be until about a 2015 season, you know, with a certain older doctor.
Was that 2015? Oh shit!
Yeah, because
I'm getting old.
He started in 2014.
I'm getting old. It was 2015.
Crazy, man. The 11th Hour in season 5 is a decade old this year.
That's fucked. I can't believe that. Yeah, it will be, but we will be. I mean, it won't be that long. I mean, we've gone through series 1 quite quickly.
Yeah, no, it won't be 4 or 5 years. It'll be pretty quick. And look,
well, it depends when we start reviewing the spin-offs and stuff.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But maybe next year when I have a bit more time on my hands to edit, we could potentially go up to 2 episodes a week, which I think I'd like, because I do enjoy filming these. One
spin-off show, one.
I wouldn't have the too much of a problem right now with recording them twice a week. It would just be the editing time I just wouldn't have.
Yeah. Shit happens.
All right, Connor. Is that us for the show this week?
Yeah, sure is.
I've got a whole week to edit this week. I usually only have like 3 days, but because we're recording this a few days earlier because Connor's going away. Oh, Connor, I did have another thing to talk about today, but maybe we'll have to save it for next time.
What?
And it'll be fitting because Dan's there.
What?
Well, last week we spoke about how I was finally going to see your DJ gig.
Oh, yeah.
Charade.
Fuck, yeah.
I wanted to talk about that because we talk about it so much, but should I just leave that as a teaser for next time?
Yeah, I'll just say this. I feel like that wasn't my best night.
Okay.
I know you said it was good. I don't remember half of it, to be honest with you. But I just remember thinking, this probably isn't my best. And I've only done it's my 3rd time, but you know.
Yeah.
I thought
Fuck it, let's go into it now. Briefly. Let's not go too long.
Second and first time was better, I think, but yeah.
So what? You just didn't think you played too well?
No, I didn't make any mistakes. I just think that like this annoyed me. Dan made me put Christmas music on there, and I said to him, "It doesn't fit with my set," and he's like, "Do it." And then on the podcast, he's like, "So I didn't ask you to put Christmas music on, but it didn't really fit." And I said, "Yes, you did." And I had to put Christmas music on. And look, I'm happy if I was with like a client who's paying me, I would do it because but I'm doing it for free. And I was like, look, man, I just don't think it's gonna fit. You should probably just put them on your set, like your Spotify set, because I don't think it's gonna work very well on mine. Anyway, I still did it, and that kind of threw me off because I just think that stuck out like a sore thumb, and it was pretty fuzzy from there on onwards because I feel like I didn't
think it really
drinking
stood out. Like I didn't think it was that bad. So
thanks. Yeah. Well, at least you said you liked it. I'm glad you did. I kind of wrapped my brains for 2 weeks to get it done, and I got told that being a DJ isn't a real artist. You just push a button, and that really upset me because it's not true.
Who told you that?
There's a particular group of people who just don't really like me, who I've only met like once at this previous party, and they said to me. They just said to me like, because they were like singers and stuff, and I'm like, I have played guitar and drums and the violin and all that shit. Like, I do play instruments, and I was trying to explain to them that it takes it. I know it doesn't look like it because you can't see what's on my laptop when I'm doing it, but it's a lot of skill and it's a lot of timing, and it's very easy for you to fuck it up and make it sound like shit. And it did upset me that some people were just like, you just press a button, because it's not true.
Yeah.
But and that kind of threw me off a bit, knowing that all those people were there, and it's hard to play for 2 hours because like everyone has a different music taste. Like I can't please everyone, and it's like,
I do think as well the it was a house party that was relatively small rooms with people kind of scattered in different areas, and the DJ deck wasn't in like the most lively. It was like near the couch,
I was told to go there.
Yeah, I'm not blaming you. I'm saying the setup I don't think was ideal for a mad DJ sesh,
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I know Declan definitely enjoyed it. He was vibing.
Oh God, yeah.
But yeah, no, well done, Connor. Look, I'd love to roast you, but because it's a the roast would be, for one, it would just be a meme roast. Like, it wouldn't be anything truthful, so I'd be lying. And two, because you're not feeling great, I think the finale of this DJ talk, for now, I'll leave it on a sympathetic note, Connor. A sentimental note is a better word. Connor, I think you did very good and you should be proud.
Thank you, Aidan.
So keep at it.
Thank you. I will.
Fucking glad that you're not going to be talking about it on the show for a while. I had to sneak one in. I'm sorry. I had to sneak one in. I'm sorry.
I haven't
Connor,
stopped.
You did great.
I haven't gone, that's me retired now.
Trust me, every time you talk about it now, I'm going to change the subject.
Okay, thanks.
I'm kidding.
Fuck me.
It's part of the show. It's part of your character. I'm kind of an asshole that just roasts your passion. And you're the DJ Panda.
I am DJ Panda, yep. That's PNDA, by the way.
Yeah. Wow.
Guys, nearly an hour and a half show.
I hope you guys have enjoyed this extended episode of the show. It has been fun to talk. Connor, I'm so glad that you're doing this with me. It's really great.
Of course, man. I'm yes as well. I'm very excited to be here and doing it. It's really fun. Thank you for doing it earlier for my ass.
No, it was good. It was perfect. I look forward to it, and I like I said, it's a great form of escapism for us both. And probably like you would have heard, listeners, at the start of this podcast, I wasn't in the best of mood. I was feeling a little bit dull, but now
Were you?
I feel great. Yeah, because I was just a bit not like depressed. I was just a bit down that the world is kind of a bit.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, that's it happens, man. I'm getting like that a bit too.
Yeah, but. This show definitely flipped my mood a lot, and that's happened a couple of times this season alone. So thanks for that.
You're welcome, my friend. Thank you for having me,
guys. Next week we'll be reviewing Boomtown.
Boom.
Boomtown. Woo-hoo. And then we'll be heading straight into a 2-part, probably an extended episode of the show again.
The exclusive, explosive series final.
Explosive. Wow.
Boom.
Wow. Oh, Connor, I'm gonna just say, get ready for a twist in that.
What?
I've got plans for season 2 of the show, and it all starts in the finale.
Oh fuck. So, okay.
What
tells me I'm not gonna like this for some reason?
No, I think you will. It may require a mild bit of extra work, but not something that's gonna feel like work.
All right. Well, I'm excited to hear it whenever you do tell me.
It'll happen. It'll be great. I want to take this podcast in bold, new, never before heard directions. All right?
Never before heard.
Oh yeah.
All right. That clearly means we're expanding it. We're probably gonna start a Twitter account or something.
We're doing audio drama. No, I'm joking.
I knew it. I knew Big Finish would hit me up.
Yeah, we're joining Big Finish. Guys, thank you very much for listening. When you join us next week, even though you probably listen to the show on a run or whilst walking somewhere, we're going to be having a beer whilst we discuss Boomtown. Maybe get a little bit tipsy, a little bit loosey-goosey.
Beer Town.
But there'll be no burps down the microphone for Bev's Town, for Frothy Town.
Just Dan, he has to worry about that.
Just Dan. But if you feel like joining us for a beverage, do it if you want to.
Especially if you're underaged.
Connor, you're such a predator.
What?
And now, I'm joking.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Look at this guy. What the hell?
There's a meme in last week's podcast where I make you sound like a predator, so I'm just playing on that.
There is?
Yeah, where you're like, I'm like, and then you find your next prey. And you're like, what the fuck? You make me sound like a predator. So I was just playing with that. Connor's not a predator. He's a great guy and he treats women very well. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Connor, lead us out in song, baby.
All right, I've got my pen here, finally. All right, ready? And a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3. It's Aidan's and Connor's podcast. They're doing Doctor Who reviews. We're doing Doctor Who reviews. Oh, I just broke my pen.
Well done. Enjoy your trip, mate. We never get to talk about your trip. Oh, we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, it's fucking.
It's still going. Are you still rolling? I'm still rolling.
Yeah, I'm still rolling.
Okay.
I broke my pen. I like this pen. It broke.
That's a shame. Bye, viewers, listeners, things. Xavier always tells me off for calling them viewers. Sorry, listeners. Goodbye. Xavier, thank you for bringing that to my attention.